Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Hope everyone is doing good. I hope everybody had the awesome 4th of July. I was off last week. Jeff, I have to say, I'm so proud that you were not sideways on the screen last week.
I feel like
so good.
We accomplished something. I will say I have a new respect for what you do on these lives because like you're preparing things and ready to go to the next conversation. And I just have to sit here and kind of, perform like a dancing ape, and you're trying to do all the back of the house stuff. And I even had your son to help me last week, and I was still overwhelmed. So the good news is you're back. The bad news is I'm going to be the only one allowed to take vacations in the future, unfortunately.
So can I take a vacation like Wednesday through Monday? Would that be okay? Or
that would be better. I need you to be back on Monday because I'm now going to apologize to somebody. One of our viewers, Miss Karen, who I just called on the phone before we went live to apologize, but I still feel guilty. She left me a voicemail last Monday, and I was so overwhelmed with the preparation and scared that you were away that I never called her back. And so I am so sorry, Miss Karen. I talked to her. She was a lovely lady. She was totally understood, and I'm going to give her a call back tomorrow.
Okay, awesome. Well, we do these lives every week at and this time Tuesdays at 7 p.m. And we really want this to be an interactive type of thing. So what I'd love for you to do to start off that interaction is down in the comments, put where you're watching from, what is your name, who's in the room with you, are you watching on a TV, on mobile device, where you're watching from, and we would love to hear that. Tonight is going to be a really special night. We've been waiting for some of this information for, I would say, almost a year.
It's like a year. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe more than that. So we've got special guest Adam on with us from K-Hovninian's 4 Seasons at Rakes of K-Bay.
And perfectly.
And of course, we have Mr. Mike from our team on as well. So we've got all different types of perspectives. So yeah, down in the comments, put where you're watching from, what's your name, and then eventually, as we get in here, we would love a bunch of questions about 4 Seasons. If we don't know them, we'll make them up, and then Adam will fact check us and all that stuff. So we'll have a bunch of fun. So we've already got a bunch of comments. Tony and Lori are on from New Jersey. What's up,
hey, Tony?
They're on every week, as well as Bob and Edna from Pennsylvania. The fireworks in Carnes were awesome.
Wait till you see next year's. There's one guy in my neighborhood that just goes all out, and he was out of town this year on the 4th, but he says he'll be back doing it next year. So it's going to be a blowout next year.
Nice. Ken's on from Del Webb Nexting. What's up, Ken? How you doing, buddy? Watching at home from my iPad. Let's see who else we got. We got Loretta is on from Pocono Lake, Pennsylvania, watching on my iPad. I saw your comments up above. We'll hit on those questions as well, Loretta, for sure. And then John and Vicky are on from Columbia. They'll be moving here shortly as well. So thanks for watching, guys. So Adam, I really want to start, just in case there's people out there that maybe have no idea what Four Seasons at the Lakes of Cane Bay is. Can you kind of give an overview of it? You've been here a couple years now as part of the sales team there. Tell us what it was supposed to be. Tell us kind of what it is now. Where are we in the building process? How many more years? Those type of things.
Yeah. So first off, I wanted to give you guys a shout out. I saw one of your Facebook posts the other day. You guys had 17 closings last month. So shout out to you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good month.
It was a good month. It was a busy month.
Yeah. Congrats. So, the Four Seasons is an active adult community. It's a monster active adult community, though, not one of the little small ones. Well, I shouldn't say a monster ones. It's a big one. There's some that are bigger in other parts of the country, but we're going to have approximately about 1,000 homes when it's all said and done. We're at about 800 right now. So we got about 2 years left, unless there was any more land purchases that I'm not aware of. But yeah, 2 years. I know we've been waiting on this phase for a while. It did get delayed. I think it was a utility delay with the county, but we're finally here. I've been with the builder for 14 years, 4 years down here in South Carolina. The other 10 were in Ohio. So it's actually kind of exciting for me too, because it's a new process.
Yeah.
In terms of the way we're selling these houses. We'll get into that a little bit more later. But what I tell everybody, what sets the Four Seasons apart, because our number one competitor, 99% of the time, is going to be Del Webb in different locations. What sets us apart is the lake system. There's a 300-acre private lake in the neighborhood, and it's all a spring-fed lake system. And what that means for the customer is the water's constantly moving. Okay, so you don't have to worry about having stagnant water with an underground spring. On top of that, before we bought this land back, because we've been in that neighborhood for 8 years now, before we bought that land, what we did is, what every builder does is they come down, they scout out the land, they look for things that set you apart, and they look at the competition too. So we noticed that almost every builder in our area were doing what's called a clear cut. Okay. Clear cuts, when you buy property, you come through, you chop it all down. You'll immediately put streets in, plant trees, and that's just the cheapest, fastest, and easiest way to build a neighborhood. But we saw an opportunity with, leaving some of the mature trees in there just to set ourselves apart. Mm-hmm. It's a very golf cart friendly community. You can take a golf cart right from our neighborhood straight to the Publix and and all the restaurants down the street from there. It's just kind of it's a fun activity. Where I live about 20 minutes down the road. My wife and I will go up to the grocery store. We'll go to the restaurants down the street from here from time to time. The only problem with our neighborhood is we have to cross over that main road, which can get dicey during rush hour. Here, it's nice because you can follow along that path, and then there's actually a tunnel that goes underneath the road.
Yeah.
So just a lot safer.
What about amenities? Like you guys put a lot of money into that amenity center that you have and everything you guys got going on in there. Give us a little info on that.
Yeah, that's probably the most important thing I should have talked about first. But we've got a 24,000 square foot amenity center. Pretty much anything that most active adult communities would have, we would have. We have, you can see it right there. That's a beautiful shot, by the way.
Thank you.
So you can see the outdoor pool kind of in the top right corner. What's hiding? Oh, you can see the mini pool too, which is that's for the grandkids. We got bocce ball courts, tennis courts, pickleball courts. There is an indoor pool. The main ballrooms, it's fabulous. I mean, there's everything that you could want in an active adult, in my opinion. There is no restaurant on the site. Some people ask about that. There's mixed reviews on that. A lot of people don't want to have a restaurant because they like, taking their own beverages and their own food to the clubhouse. Mm-hmm. That's a good shot right there. You can see down by the water, you can see the amphitheater leading up to it. Occasionally they'll have, like a band that'll come in and play. And it's just it's a tight knit community. So
Adam, one of the things that we have people ask a lot about is will the amenity center was open when there was 300 homes in the neighborhood, and now will the amenity center support when there's 1,000 homes in the neighborhood? And my answer is that y'all build not just you, but other builders are pretty good at building the right size amenity center for what the end result is going to be. And I guess more of a comment than anything else, and you can say if you have any thoughts on it, but I've known the amenity center to never be crowded. It's used, but I wouldn't say it's it's under servicing the population. Like when we're totally built out, I feel like the amenity center is going to end up being just the absolute right size for the community with everything you have. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, it was pre-planned this way. Like our future development land, like if you would have came in 8 years ago and seen our future develop or our plat map, that purple area that was on the map, that's what we're building now. So we've already planned for this well in advance.
What about different clubs and activities? And
Yeah.
isn't there over like 100 different clubs or something?
There's a lot. I don't even know how many there are nowadays, but there's pretty much a club for everything. And if there's not one, they're adding them all the time. The biggest thing is we have a full-time activity director. So that's her whole job, is to put on events and parties for the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And going back to like the size of it, sometimes they'll say, well, Adam, I got shut out of a certain party or whatnot. Just because that doesn't mean that the community is necessarily like it's not handling the amount of people. It just means that was a popular party, and it makes it more exciting, in my opinion. But there are, occasionally they'll have if there's a New Year's Eve party where they're doing a big catering event or something. Like sometimes there's limited seats. They can't have every single customer or every single person that lives in the neighborhood to the party. You know what I mean? So there has to be some limitations.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, can you pull up that drone shot for another second?
Yeah. Hang on one second.
So I think that drone shot really shows, and this is another concern of a lot of people of ours, are like, hey, are they going to be able to put a house behind my house?
Right.
And so you see these treed areas around there, and a lot of this is conservancy, or it's ground that they couldn't build on if they wanted to.
Correct.
Yeah. All that
there is some federally,
right?
Yeah, there's federally backed wetland preserves. If I'm being 100% technical with this, there is a way to change that in certain spots, but it is an extremely expensive and time. It would take years and years and years. And the part that we're building that's backing up to where we're at is just flat out not going to get built on.
Yeah.
You can see that's a good shot over there. You can see where the well, never mind, you moved it. But just another thing that sets us apart is the lake system with the kayaking, paddleboarding. We actually have a building right there. That's what I was seeing, that houses kayaks. You can take ours out free of charge.
Oh, yeah. It's got one of those cool, I call it like the zero entry of pools. Like it's the ride your kayak right up onto the thing and step out. It makes it really easy.
Oh, yeah. Over there, yeah. So this at the top of the screen is really the protected wetlands.
Correct.
Not that they're wet; they just kind of call them that.
It's a forest.
Yeah,
protected. And if you look at the total map too, there's not really a way to get back there once we build out where we're building at right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. So phase 8. So there's 10 total phases that you know of in all of the 4 seasons. Phase 8, we're kind of wrapping up right now, right?
Correct.
There's maybe 2 homes left for sale.
Yep. Two houses left. Yep, they're both the same floor plan, Mont Blanc lofts. And then so far, we just opened up phase 9. Like we're still doing touch-ups on the model homes, so they're open and we're selling, but they're not totally completed. We've sold 2 houses over there so far. Both on the preserve in phase 9. That's something that, if we have folks that are really wanting a nice, pretty preserve lot, that's kind of our niche for the next, year or so.
So here's kind of the whole map.
Yep.
And phase 8 was way over here to the left.
Yep.
So that is finishing up kind of at the top here. And then phase 9 and 10 is kind of what is highlighted in white there, or is that just phase 9?
The white is just 9, yeah. Then above that would be where 10's at.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're talking about the preserve lots, that would be all of these from the 40 to 52.
Not right there. Go right there. Yep, right there and all the way up.
All the way up.
Yep, all the way up north, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And so this is that big area that we saw at the top of the screen from that drone shot, that we are literally kind of blocking all of that in so that no more development can go in that area. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And you can see on that same shot, Mark and guys, that's the main lake right there. So we are extremely close to it. Now, I want to be clear, though, those houses over there that we're looking at, those are not on the lake, okay? It's a giant inland lake. You can tell, even if you can't see the water, you know there's a lake over there because there's no trees or anything. It's very, very quiet over there. I drove back there today, and I was just like, wow, it's quiet. I mean, the whole neighborhood's pretty quiet, but it's real quiet back there.
So it's my understanding that this will be a gate into the community, and there'll be another road here. Is that right?
Yeah, 100%. I don't know exactly how the gate layout will look, but there will be a road that goes along the lake. So yeah, there'll be, so if we would go lake, and then there's going to be a walking path, and then the road, and then the houses.
Okay.
Hopefully that hand signal made sense for you guys.
It did.
No,
I'm going to hit on a few more of these comments real quick.
Yeah.
Dennis and Heidi are on their iPhone, watching on their iPhone from Oak Forest.
Hey, guys.
Pete, Bradbury, and Denise, they are moving to Four
I know
Seasons.
them.
I think they're just a couple days away from actually closing.
I talked to Pete today.
Okay, good. Closing on their property, and he's in one of those houses that are in phase 8. We've got Logan on John C. from Long Island coming down in a month. Awesome.
Nice.
Can't wait to see you, John. All right, here's a good question. So we'll get into this a little bit more, but why duplexes in the new phase, or you guys are calling them villas, right?
Yeah, villas, duplexes, it's the same thing. Why is, what I can give you what I think.
Okay.
I think it's a price thing.
Price point.
They're still going to be really nice. They still have the same design process, which is the looks process, which we'll talk a little bit about. But it's a cost thing. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joe and
Now,
Rose
are those
are
gonna
on.
be one level or two?
They're one level. Yeah. So everything's on
Okay.
one level. We're not going to do the 2-story ones.
Okay.
Yep.
Joe and Rose are on from Rochester, New York. Hey, guys. Hope
Hey,
you guys
guys.
are doing good. Dennis has a question. What are the costs for the events, the parties, the activities that are at the amenity center?
Yeah. Great
Adam,
question.
can I answer this one? Because
Yeah, go ahead.
I think
Go
I
ahead,
get it right, and I'd like the expert to say if I get it right.
Okay.
Because here, I want to be tested, because here's what I normally say. All right, so if you have a yoga class and it's typically led by somebody that's in the neighborhood, it's probably going to be free. If they bring in an outside instructor for that yoga class, there's a minimal cost to that, maybe $5 a person, because you've got to pay the instructor. If you've got like a New Year's Eve or a Valentine's party, there is a cost for that, but that's covering the food, the alcohol, the caterer, that type of stuff in. I don't know what those range. Those are probably, what, $40 a couple? Have you seen what those things have cost in the past, Adam?
I don't. Oh, let me think about this. I know that Halls catered their New Year's Eve party once. I want to say it was $100 or maybe $200 a couple. It was expensive, but it was really nice.
Yeah, I mean, if Halls
most of the parties are a
right.
lot smaller. Yeah, Halls is one of the best chop houses around, so that's why it's expensive. But there's a lot of the different parties are lesser than that.
Yeah. So little bits of money here and there if it's like a special event, but for the most part, like even the kayaks and the canoes, like you don't even have to rent those. You got to go pass a little class and sign a thing, but they're just there for you to borrow. So you don't have to pay to play pickleball. You don't have to pay to play bocce. It's all included in your monthly HOA fees.
One thing that's neat too, and I just was talking to a homeowner the other day about this, is a lot of the guys and women that are doing some of the pickleball or tennis, whatnot, they're doing a lot of traveling, which I thought was cool. I never thought about it, but the Four Seasons people, they'll go over to Del Webb, or they'll go to the YMCA, or they'll go to another neighborhood. So they have not all of them do, but a lot of them travel around and just to get different competition, different locations. I thought that was kind of cool.
That is neat.
We need a Del Webb Four Seasons cage fight. That'd be awesome.
All right, Jeff, Mike, this question's for you guys from Loretta that was up there earlier. So what services and assistance do we provide out-of-state customers when they're having a house built? Are you there during various stages of construction inspections?
Hit it, Mike.
Well, I mean, we greet you when you get down here. We'd love for you to book an appointment with us, start with a Zoom call, and let us kind of get a feel for what you're looking for and how we can best serve you. And then, when you come down for a visit, Jeff and Mark and one of us will meet you in the office, and then we'll carry you around, show you the options. If and when you write a contract on a house, then we're with you through that whole process. We're going to encourage you to do a couple inspections that are really important for the process. We're going to take videos for you every 10 to 14 days of the progress of your home, and just be a resource throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, we basically do whatever you would be doing if you were here. So we're at every builder's meeting. We're at every inspection. Mike brought up a good point. There's two, and even Adam, as a builder's representative, encourages you to do what I'm about to tell you that you're going to do. And that's inspections. I mean, we've been super pleased with K. Hovnanian. They're a great builder, but they're a builder, and we're going to find things wrong with the house. It's really never big scary things. It's just little things that we don't want to have to mess with. So if you're building from the ground up, you can do an inspection pre-drywall. It's a time that we can get in and see everything behind the walls. And then at the very end, about 10 days before, we're going to do another inspection. And then we just kind of hand over those to the builders, and we have a meeting, and they run through, and it's shocking what they can get cleaned up and fixed in a week.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah, one thing I want to kind of add to that, guys, because like I said, I came from Ohio. One thing that I sold probably 800 to 1,000 homes up there, and I probably did less than 20 or 30 private inspections. For whatever reason, on new construction up there, it's very rare to do private inspections, which honestly I don't get it. So even myself, when I moved down here, I wasn't going to do an inspection when I was building a house. But I kind of got talked into it by everybody down here saying, hey, most people do them down here. So I did one, and it was totally worth it for just peace of mind. Again, the inspector didn't find anything that the builder wouldn't have caught anyways, but it was good for peace of mind. And that's why I recommend it 100% of the time.
Awesome. So Adam, I want to jump into the new area. I've got some drone that I captured yesterday of the new lots and everything. Mm-hmm. And I'll try to kind of point out where those lots you're talking about. And then if it's okay, we're going to deep dive a little bit into how you guys are going to differentiate your business from, phases 1 through 8 to phases 9 and 10. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to share my screen real quick. So here's some of the drone that we got yesterday. So I think this almost encapsulates all of phase 9.
Yep. You got it.
And where these woods are right here,
yep,
and around, those are where I'm guessing we're selling first. Is that right?
So yeah, we did open. If you go to the left of that on your cursor, a little bit to the left down the road. Yep. So we're selling all those. We did add some specs, and I'm off the top of my head, I don't know which ones are spec and which ones are building, but pretty much from there, 3/4 of the way to the right, those are most of those lots that we're opening up right now. We just opened up, I want to say 4 or 5 on the preserve. Off the top of my head, I think they have a $40,000 or $45,000 premium on them.
Okay.
And those are going to be the single families that are going back against the woods. The duplexes or the villas are going to be, if you look at the south side of the road, or let me think about this. That would be actually the east side, but the bottom, right there. So that's going to be all duplexes all through there. And then closer to us, you'll have road and then the walking path. You can see the walking path already.
Yeah, right here.
Adam, I like the idea of these duplexes. We want to have this great neighborhood available to somebody that may not be in the price points for the single families. I'm super excited that I wouldn't want the whole neighborhood being all duplexes. It's predominantly going to be a single family neighborhood, but I love that we're doing that.
Yeah. I mean, they're wildly popular, especially like Margaritavilles. They love them down there. Mm-hmm. They're nationally, they're definitely coming. Yeah, it's a bigger market share for sure.
You talk about Margaritaville, and there's, when you were describing Four Seasons, the size of it at 1,000.
Yeah,
we've got a lot of people from our channel that they come down and they do the search in Summerville, and then they go down and they look at Margaritaville, and they go to the big Del Webb in Sun City, and sometimes even down to the villages. And I'm telling you, like 95% of the people come back to Summerville because there's just so much to offer in a neighborhood like Four Seasons here without having 10,000 homes in a neighborhood and just getting lost. The other thing that people really like about this is the golf cart ability from Four Seasons to the Publix, the Chick-fil-A, the Starbucks, the restaurants, the Mexican, all that is a big deal. The YMCA across the street, there's a fire station, EMS station in there, all of the trails and paths. People just really seem to really love this neighborhood. And you're right. I think it's the lake that is a big differentiator for this neighborhood. Even if you don't go kayaking, I would never get in a kayak. But I love that this neighborhood has the lake and just sit and go stare at the lake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So obviously you can't have motor boats on there, but you can have like a small electrical boat. You can have kayaks, paddle boards, all of that stuff. Right?
Yeah. Yep. So you can do manpower, which would be kayaks, paddle boards, canoes, and then you can do electric powered boats. So we've seen electric powered pontoon boats, and then you'll see like little John boats for the fishermen. Well, mainly for the fishermen, which would be me eventually.
All right. So I did this little chart to make sense in my mind of how this new way of working is going to look in phases 9 and 10. Okay. So I'm going to share that real quick. Oh, Lance is on too. Let me bring on Lance.
This
Lance
is the first time you saw me. I was on earlier. You just ignored me.
I didn't ignore you, buddy. You weren't on camera, so I can't bring you on if you're not on camera.
Oh my goodness! Look at this hat. Is it sunny in your room tonight?
Check it out. Check it out. Yeah, I'm. This is my satellite hat. Right now, I'm also talking to the space station at the same time.
Okay.
All right, Mark. I'm excited to see this because Mark loves him like an Excel spreadsheet. So I know you're going to be excited about this.
Yeah. So I kind of broke it down where we have 3 different collections that we're going to be offering in phases 9 and 10. Really, this first one is not offered yet. It's the villas or the duplexes you were talking about.
Yep.
And we don't know pricing on those yet or anything like that, right?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, lesser than the single families, one would think, but yeah, that's above my pay grade.
Okay. Now, will people still be able to build from the ground up there, or will they all be specs, or do you know?
So for the villas, I don't know yet because they haven't started yet, but I'm assuming we would still do to be builds.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm assuming so.
Okay.
We're still going to do more specs than not, more specs than to be builds. But I'm not sure on the villa. I would assume we would though.
Okay.
And that's a great slide, by the way.
To be builds is another difference between you and some other neighborhoods in the area is that we are seeing more and more builders go to a only spec model. So it's nice that we can finish out this neighborhood with the ability to still design things, not exactly 100% the way we want, and we're going to talk more about that in a minute. But to be able to pick things and not just take it or leave it.
Yep. And that's really the name of the game, is simplifying things. We did the older process where, you go pick the lot, you put the options in the house, then you go meet with a designer. There's pros and cons to everything in life. So there's pros and cons to meeting with a designer. They became very, a lot for some customers in terms of cost and just the mental stability. So what we did essentially is we've narrowed it down to about 20 different packages. So when you pick a house, essentially you'll have 20 different design options, and then you'll be able to choose your structural options on top of that.
Nice.
Okay. So you won't have as many as you used to, but still structural options. And then again, you'll have about 20 different color palettes to choose from.
We've always kind of said, especially in Four Seasons, that the spec homes, that you guys are designing the spec homes exactly how people would design them if they were building them from the ground up. For instance, you're putting really nice stuff in them, and that's going to carry through the same where these are done by professional designers. So you're not going to have anything that looks silly in these. It's a professional designer that put these packages together. I've had people cry at design center appointments. It is a stressful 4 hours. And so I do like this direction. It's making it easier, but still giving you a lot of choice.
Yep. And you can't mess up something. You know, I can't tell you how many times I had somebody come back from a design appointment and it wasn't right after the design appointment. We're talking months later, and they're like, Adam, I hate that color of paint, or I hate that backsplash, or I hate that. What I'm like, there's not much I can do. You picked it, you know. And so just because you see a sample this big on the wall, you know, once you see it all together in the house can be, you know, it can be dicey. So that's why we let the experts do it. And the biggest benefit of doing it in these packages is money. You know, we got rid of, you know, like before we would have like a cheaper option, and then you'd have upgrade. Now we've kind of just got rid of the cheaper option, and then we give you your 20 different packages. Now there's still cost associated with it, but because you're buying in the packages, essentially you're buying in bulk. It's like going to a Sam's Club versus the corner store. Although we're talking houses.
Yeah.
So there'll be two different collections, the Beacon collection and the Compass collection.
Yep.
And the different collections are basically the width of the lot. The Beacon fits in a smaller lot than the Compass.
Yeah, and
as
I don't
you were
know.
saying earlier, right?
Yep, that's exactly right. I don't know off the top of my head exactly how wide they are. There's only like a 4 or 5 foot difference between the two collections.
Okay.
The Compass is the bigger and the wider and the more expensive of the two.
Okay.
And then Beacon will be the smaller plans. Yeah. So
and
we've got
each of those collections has 3 different plans,
Mhm.
and they're all ranging from 1660 in the Beacon all the way up to 2700.
Yep.
In the Beacon, and then the Compass ranges from 1977 up to 2700.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yes. Yep.
And so we do still have 3-car garage options in here in the Compass collection. There's 2 of those that have 3-car garages.
Correct.
right.
Yeah. So let's think about this. The Kerr has one, the Simone has one, and the Taylor. So those are the 3 that have the 3-car tandem garage, which is a very, very popular option.
Okay. So the Simone has one too. Okay. I
Mhm.
didn't see that on the sheet.
Yep.
So Taylor, Kerr, and Simone. That's good
It's
to know that.
interesting that in the width, because you were talking about the 2 widths of the homes, that you've still got a 2,700 square foot option in both of those, you know, different widths.
Yep. Hey guys, I'm sorry I messed up. The Simone does not have a 3-car tandem garage.
Okay,
Sorry. I'm new at this too. After I said it, I was like,
figuring it
wait a
out
minute, that
together.
doesn't sound right. It's been a long day.
That's okay. That's okay. All right. So basically you'll come in, you'll pick your lot.
Yep.
Can any of these plans fit on any lot, or are there certain designated lots?
Yeah, so there's collections. So when you look at the website, there's like a light blue and a darker blue. The light, I think that's the darker blue, I believe, are the Compass, and the lighter blue are the Beacons, but they're in collections.
Okay. Good.
And then the other ones will be the villas. Those will all be the same.
All right. So you pick your lot, you pick your floor plan,
Yep.
then you'll have structural options that you can pick.
Structural options. Yep. So for example, like a fireplace, or we're offering, like in some plans, we offer a 15-foot sliding glass door, which I've never seen one of those in my life till recently.
It looks amazing in that model.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just saw it yesterday. It's gorgeous.
Yeah. I'll pull it up in a little bit.
Yeah.
And then after you pick your structural, you'll pick one of these 4 looks. And within these looks, there's 4 or 5 different options of each look. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Hey,
So
Mark, can we go back to the structural options?
Yeah.
So fireplace and what else would be a structural option?
fireplace, let's see, the sliding glass door would be one. Let me see, handrail and spindles if you wanted to do that. We don't do any window options anymore, like, because we give you quite a few included window options.
Are any of these available to do that, like unfinished storage room over the garage?
We're not doing that in any of the plans now. No,
Okay.
Unfortunately, no. That is nice in some of the options. It just got expensive. You know, back 6-7 years ago, we used to charge, it was like 10 grand or less than that. Now it's like 20 grand for most of those houses.
Mm-hmm.
Screen in the patio would be a structural option. I consider those like the beams. So that's another thing that we're doing that's different than we did before. A lot of those decorative beams, especially like if you've got a vaulted ceiling, like it's really pretty beams up there.
Yeah.
That's technically a design option though.
What about a garage extension? Any of those in these?
We're not doing extensions at all to the houses. So no morning rooms, no sunrooms, no bump outs, no garage extensions. They come the way they come on the plan.
Okay.
Yep.
And this is just us learning this because it's all new to all of us.
This is a good quiz because it's helping me because I just started selling them.
I'm a helper. That's what I do. All right, Mark, I'm sorry. You can go back to your like farmhouse and that kind of stuff now.
No, that's fine. So I basically made that chart out of that sheet that you gave me, Adam, which kind of goes through this, right? Because this I was like all over the place, and so that's why I made the chart. But this is just another way to look at that sheet, and then it kind of shows some of the differences in prices across the looks. So the villas we don't know yet, but like in the Beacon collection for the Bernstein 2, your base price includes the element look, and that is $449.9, $450, let's call it.
Yep.
And then to go up to the loft, you're looking at $12,000 roughly. And is that any of the looks in the loft series, or is each look in the loft series go up in price as well?
So there will be there's further upgrades past that too. So if you wanted to upgrade to a higher level cabinet, so there's levels once you get into those packages.
Okay. Hey, let me ask a question. Yeah. So is the loft just a name, or is it a home with a loft?
No, I thought that's what I thought Mark was getting confused with. But Mike, you asked the perfect question. Yeah, because I thought Mark was. Yeah, no, you're right.
It's just because we're used to like the Donegal loft and and all that. So
listen,
I think that's important.
I love Cave Naming. I love Four Seasons. What was somebody thinking calling one of these things a loft? Because do you know how many times we're going to get that question, and how many times you're going to get that question?
Yep, I thought of that too. Yep.
All right, so that's just a design.
Loft is just a look, not a second floor.
So the big difference between those three, and it's just a lot easier to go to the website and look through them. But the loft has like mixed metals. Okay, so you're going to see some like chrome fixtures with black, with black hinges and black faucets. So it's a mixed metal. The farmhouse look is going to have what you think about farmhouse sink, black knobs, black furnishings, black faucets, and then the classic is going to be the brushed nickel. There's certain little things that go with that also, but yeah, that's kind of the basic breakdown for those.
Okay. Okay, so I think that handles that. Let me jump over here. So this is going to be the standard features that are automatically included in the base prices. So shutters, fiberglass front entry doors, hose bibs, fully sodded home site that include irrigation, steel garage doors. So all the basic R38 insulation over living areas. So this is not just basic stuff. That like R38 is an upgrade, but you guys are now including it in your selections, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I mean, our standards has always been a little bit higher than most of the production builders. That R38's always been like that, actually. And then in our side insulation, we're doing R15. Most builders are doing R13.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
And then here are the different looks. I know these pictures aren't the best because I scanned it in. Yeah. But we do have a sheet. Anybody that wants the sheet can just email us at info@charlestonarealiving.com. We can get it over to you. So that you can kind of look through this stuff, see if this is something you want to do, and build from the ground up and pick your everything. And then you guys are already starting some of the quick move-ins, and some of them are in the 6s, but I also think you have some in the 5s, right?
Correct. Yep. Yeah. And those move-in dates. Those are an estimate, obviously, but those are us. That's our best guess. I always tell people if you're buying on the front side of like on the beginning of a phase, have an extra 30 or 60 days in your back pocket minimum. Just because like the last phase got delayed a little bit because of that. But yeah, I mean, we're still in March, April.
Okay.
Yeah. Good.
So that's a lot of options already for people that are ready to go and they don't want to pick through everything. We've got tons of options for you for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Mike, what other questions did you have?
No, I'm just taking notes, man. It all sounds really good. I know there were a couple questions in the chat log I don't think we covered yet.
Yeah, let me hop in on those and get rid of the screen share so you can see us. All right, so Loretta was saying, can you please note prices, lot sizes, HOA fees, and any one-time buy-in costs? I feel like we showed some of the prices already of the specs. When we talked about lot sizes a little bit, Adam, can you hit on the HOA fees and any one-time buy-in costs? Yep. And then I got another question about HOA fees that I'll pop up after that.
Yeah, that's an easy one. I've answered that one for many years. So, the HOA fees as $300 per month, for the Four Seasons HOA. Okay, what you get for that is all of your landscaping is done for you, all four sides, your trash removal, and we also give you a $15 credit every month on your cable internet bill. Okay. The second HOA, there's technically 3 HOAs, but I normally never talk about the third HOA till the contract time. But I'll go through them right now since we're all on here. Second HOA is $126 for the whole year. Okay. And that's every house in Cane Bay pays that. And what you get for that is they maintain the golf cart path that goes down to Publix, and also all the landscaping that they do on Cane Bay Boulevard. Now, the third one, that's the confusing one that I never explained till contract time because, quite frankly, it's confusing, it's for the lakes of Cane Bay, okay? Because every homeowner in the Four Seasons has access to the lake system, and not every house in the neighborhood in all of Cane Bay has access. So there's got to be restrictions on it. So what they do is they restrict like engine types for the boats, size restrictions on the boats, things like that. And it's $150 for the whole year. However, it comes out of the $300 that you're already paying a month. So long story short is you're not paying it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So there is an initial contribution fee too of $1,600, which is $1,000 plus 2 months of your HOA, which is $300 per month. So that's why it's $1,600.
And then somebody else asked about, Mark, the safety of the ongoing HOA fees. I'm not sure where it is in there. Maybe you can look for it while I'm talking about it. Oh, there it is. So I'll give my answer of what we have seen from Mark and Mike and I's perspective of these, not just this neighborhood, but many. And that is that they are very good at figuring out what money they're going to need to run the neighborhood. And we see very, very few increases in those HOAs. You may have heard stories about assessments in the Charleston market. That is not this type of neighborhood.
Right.
That is a condo down by the ocean that's been there for 40 years, and it's having the salt water has eaten it for 40 years. Like, we don't really see any assessments in these types of neighborhoods. We do see minor increase in the HOA occasionally, but Adam, you guys just had your first one, I think, since y'all opened. Well,
we had the first, we increased it $25 last year, and that's probably just to keep up with inflation. Every other year was just a $5 increase, and that's really the plan that we're on. That's why we collect that $1,600 every time we sell a house. Plus resales, when those resell, that goes towards the initial contribution also. So that's, the most financially stable communities are usually the active adult communities because A, they've got the money, and B, they've done it before. They know how to run it properly. There's a lot of CFOs and very book smart people that are running this HOA. So
nice. All right, so I think that answers both of those questions. Dennis, let us know if you need anything else on that question. Jackie's on. She says, "Hey friends, what's up, Jackie?"
Jackie Q.
Tom Harris is watching from South Jersey, wishing to move down someday. Tom, we've had tons of people from New York, New Jersey, New England.
Want to move down someday.
I'm sorry, Jeff. I was talking over you. Say again.
That's a coincidence because we want him to move down someday.
Yes. Exactly.
Seriously, Tom, I feel like Jersey is going to be empty. We've had a lot this year from New Jersey.
Yeah. Abigail Klim is on. What's up, Abigail?
Yeah, I know her.
She's on from work. She's supposed to be working right now.
Oh, busted.
Doesn't matter to me. She's working for somebody else. So.
Right. Yes. Until she's working for us, then we'll care about it.
Yeah. Jackie said adding golf cart ability to Webster's dictionary. Yeah, we
really should.
That, I think.
Yeah.
We already answered Dennis's question. 20 is a lot of options for the looks. I agree.
Yeah, still lots of options there. It's not like it's going to be every house is going to be looking the same. I think they've done a really good job at coming up with a solution here.
Yeah. All right. Dennis has another question. Why don't they offer direct drive garage door opener in these units? Much better than the thing hanging from the ceiling, plus a whole lot quieter. I don't know if I know what direct drive.
I know the answer to this question. I can answer this question in the form of a song from the 90s, I think. Money, 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 money. It just costs more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. And popularity too. There's going to be a lot of people that are like, what's that drive thing? And I don't want to pay for that. That's
Dennis Carlton has a lot of good questions, man. He has a lot of good questions from Columbia.
Yeah. Awesome.
Oh,
All
he's
right,
not in Columbia? I take that back. He's local, isn't he? Where is he?
Yeah, he lives here now, I think.
Oh, that's right. He's here. That's correct.
Yeah, he's renting until he finds his
That's
forever
correct.
home.
I'm sorry. I forgot.
You're confusing it with the other client.
That's exactly right. I'm an old person.
All right, so keep your questions coming, guys. Even if it's not about Four Seasons, we would love to answer it for you. Just pop it in there, and also if you're just joining us, pop in where you're watching from, what city and state you're watching from, and things like that. Bob, Lion, Maria, and Bob, looking forward to our Del Webb experience next Monday. Awesome. You guys will have fun there for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So, Adam, what did we not cover with all of the phase 9 and 10 stuff coming? Is there anything that we need to make sure we let these people know?
I mean, with not in regards to the phase 9 and phase 10, we do have, I think we briefly touched on it. We do have 2 existing model homes that were in the phase 8. So they're 8-year-old model homes that are for sale as is. They're both pretty good opportunities. One's 2,600 square feet. The other one's about 3,000 square feet.
Hey, don't advertise that, Ravina, because we're going to be putting an offer in tomorrow.
Yep,
Good
but
job,
there's one right there, and then it's probably not on the website yet, but one came back on the market, the Donegal Loft. That one's not on the market yet, or not back on the website, but that just came back on the market, so that one's for sale. It's actually for sale.
One of my favorite houses in the whole neighborhood. That one will go back quickly.
Yeah, yep, for sure.
So the Lose Loft, is that still available, or did you sell that today too?
So no, that one is for sale. I actually listed that one today.
Okay.
So I just listed that one today. They had to rip out the driveway. There was something wrong with the concrete or something, so they did replace that. So I got brand new, fresh photos today, and that one's live as of today.
You got all driveways in there now, Adam? Did they pull out all
For the models?
landscaping and the models?
Yeah, yes, sir. Except for the sales office, we are going to have to put a driveway in there too. But I think they're leaving that one for last.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
So, Adam, let's talk about what the process is for somebody financially if they want to build from the ground up.
Yeah.
Versus a spec, because those are 2 often very different paths.
Yeah.
So let's go. I want to make sure we're clear on the build from the ground up. You're going to pick your lot. There's a cost to that lot. You're going to pick your base, and then you're going to add up from there. So let's say you end up at X. I make up numbers, $600,000.
Yep.
What's required at time of contract? And how's that work?
Yep. So it's going to be the same for your earnest deposit, whether it's a spec or whether it's a to be built, like a build from scratch, if you will. And the answer to that is it's a $10,000 deposit at the time of contract. And if you're doing a conventional mortgage, it would be a full 10% within 30 days, or if you were paying cash. So 99.9% of the people are doing 10 grand. And in this case, another $50,000 due in 30 days. The only caveat to that is if the homeowner was or the customer was wanting to do like a VA loan or an FHA loan, then we can take a lot less for the down payment on that. But generally speaking, it's 10% total.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so you would get qualified up front if you're going to be doing a mortgage. So that means, talking to the lender, getting qualified up front. Then they will have to re-verify everything at the end, when it's 6 to 8 months down the road from there, just to make sure you didn't go out and buy 10 cars and wreck your credit. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're paying cash for the house, same process. You got 10 grand, then 50 grand down at 30 days. And then all I would need to see is a copy of a proof of funds, which just means like a screenshot with your name on it, showing that you have the full amount somewhere. We don't care if it's in an IRA, if it's in a 401k, if it's cash under. Well, I would care. You can't do cash under your bed.
Take a picture of the cash under the
No,
mattress.
that won't work. Not anymore. But or just in like a checking account, that'd be fine. And so that lets us start the house, because a lot of people either like, Adam, I want to sell my house and use the money from my house to pay for this house. And you can show me proof of funds showing that you have it just in case. But 99% of those people are going to be selling their house in that meantime. And then they just take their money from their house and boom, pay cash for it.
And I will say that I'm super proud of our team in that I feel like we're better than the rest of the market in coming up with those short-term and long-term solutions to how do I buy this house with selling my other house, without selling my other house. There's lots of other options that we can help work through that with you.
Yeah. Hey, Adam, what part of the buyer's closing costs do you guys cover?
It depends. So right now, currently in phase 9, well, I should have brought this up earlier, but we have a $30,000 incentive as of right now. So we call it flex cash. So it can be used towards whatever you want. A homeowner that's going to be paying cash for the house, I normally don't recommend to use that money towards the closing cost. I would just tell them to take that incentive off of the purchase price. Only because you're going to be paying lesser in taxes if you do it that way. It's there's not much difference. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. And you pay the buyer's agent's commission.
Oh yeah. For the buyer's agent. Yeah. So, customer comes in with a realtor, that price is the price no matter what. So we always take care of it.
Guys, that's super important to know, because it's important, even with K. Hovnanian, that you call us first to go in there with you. There's no downside. There's only upside. And we get that. People understand that once they have a Zoom call with us and we explain the process. But it's super important that you not roll in without us the first time and just schedule a Zoom call. Listen, if you're local and you say, I want to go in on a Tuesday and just take a look around and I don't want to get too far into it, we have that happen also. We have ways to work through this. Just you got to call us.
Yep.
Just tell Adam, hey, Adam, I want to work with Mark and Jeff and the team, but, I just didn't want to bother Jeff, or, I didn't want Jeff bothering me, or,
Jeff's not returning phone calls this week.
Or, Jeff and Mark are such huge personalities on YouTube. I don't know if they have time for me, that kind of thing.
I feel like I'm going to be famous after this airs.
You are.
Absolutely.
Tony says 3 weeks till our next visit. Hopefully a decision. Yes.
Nice.
Tony, yeah.
All right. Dennis said, are both phases 9 and 10 hardy plank? Good question.
They are not. Yeah, it's a good question, but they are going to do vinyl. And the next question is, it's a cost thing. It is an upgraded vinyl, but it is vinyl. It's not. We're not going to be doing hardy plank in the next 2 phases.
Yeah. You guys do put a nice vinyl on those houses. That's
yeah, it looks pretty.
Yeah, it is.
And we do have some new colors too, a couple new colors.
All right. Karen said, what about flood mitigation in the community? Great question.
Yeah, great question. Yeah. I always remember, I'm sure you guys were here for Tropical Storm Debbie. Well, first off, I'll answer your question. We're in flood zone X, and that's the lowest risk factor in South Carolina. We're about 100 feet above sea level. I always remember back when it was Tropical Storm Debbie, it came through, it dumped about 30 inches of rain on us. And you got to remember, I have 50 some houses in contract. So 50 folks from around the country. And when they see on the news that Summerville is getting dumped on by water, what do? They call Adam, right? Yeah. Adam, is my house flooding? And so what I did is I just took my phone out, hit video, and I just drove the whole neighborhood. So the low spots in the streets did fill up. I'd say drive through 5 or 6 inches of rain or water, but there wasn't a single house that got affected by that. It got in a little bit of people's grass, but it was. Is that it right there?
Look at Mark.
Yeah, this is Del Webb, Cane Bay.
Oh, okay. That's water in the street right there, isn't it?
Water in the street all the way up to the driveways. But I don't think any of the houses
they didn't.
Got wet inside. It only came up to the driveways and up to the back.
I was really impressed.
Monster rain.
Yeah.
I think one of the keys here is you guys know what you're doing. The engineers know what they're doing in these neighborhoods when they cut these lots and they engineer these lots. I mean, if you really take a good look at them as they're laying the sod, you could see how they design these lots to drain off. So
you're right, Lance. You can see the swells in between each of the lots when you're going through, for sure.
I mean, that's a huge, huge deal because we get that question a lot. And when I'm out with my clients, I point out to them, because when the grass is new, you can kind of even see just under the underneath the grass. So yeah, you guys do a great job with that.
Yeah.
All right. Pete says, Mark, have you started working on a Realty One group cruise?
Give us time. We got to talk about this.
That's a whole nother episode, Pete. We'll get into that for sure, though. Dennis says, picture of cash on a pallet in the storage unit.
I was ready. This is what he's talking about. Breaking Bad.
Oh.
When people want to pay with this, listen. Wow. If you got a pile of cash like this, we'll find a way to get it turned into a bank. It's all right. I got you.
There it is. Yeah, there it is. Jackie says, I'm now singing Simply the Best.
Oh no.
Better than all the rest.
What's the rule?
I like it.
Wow. Loretta says, yikes. Oh, she meant because of the water. Or she could mean my singing. I'm not sure.
I was thinking the singing.
I would say the singing, yeah.
Or the big old pallet of money in the
well, that could be too.
All right. All right. Any other question? I think I hit them all. If I missed your question, I'm sorry, but I think I hit them. Oh, wait, here's a new one. Loretta says both.
Thank you.
She's like, I'm not going to work with them because Mark might sing.
I promise I won't put you in a room with Mark if he's singing. I got you covered.
I can do a little Elvis. Thank you very much. Are you lonesome?
Wow.
Thank you.
How do we make it stop?
I got the mute button. Hold on.
I actually thought that was pretty good.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you so much, Adam.
I'm not singing.
Maybe you guys can book them for one of the shows over at Four Seasons.
This is my Karen I apologize to today, by the way. So, Karen, I love you. I did an Alaska cruise. It was fantastic. It was not cheap. It was expensive because I did the whole train up into Denali Park and all that stuff on top of it. But Hawaii is the one I really do want to do. Norwegian has a boat that just goes from Hawaii, all of the Hawaiian Islands, and it's expensive too. But the problem is I got to get all the. All right, I'm done, Mark. I'm sorry. I'm talking about travel, and I shouldn't be.
Alaska is amazing. Alaska is amazing.
So Karen's basically saying I can go to Alaska, which is a 14-day trip. I can leave for 2 weeks.
No, man, you know how hard it was having you gone for 7 days? Are you
Karen
nuts?
And I can go to Alaska for 14 days, not you. Things don't go well when you leave.
Man.
All right. Well, believe it or not, Adam, we filled an entire hour just about Four Seasons. Like I had stuff in the background ready, but we didn't even have to go there because you filled the entire hour. So I can't thank you enough for coming on, after hours and being here for us.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate you.
Yeah. So hopefully this gives you a good idea of what Four Seasons has to offer in the future. As Adam said, we're still kind of learning it. So we'll bring it up again on future lives. We've got a few Four Seasons videos that just came out that went over some of the spec homes. And we have a new one coming in the coming weeks, going through the new models. So definitely be on the lookout for that. We walk through both models, kind of recap some of the same stuff that we talked about today as well. If you want to book a Zoom call towards the end of this, we're going to have a QR code on the screen. Just scan that with your phone, or you can go to charlestonaraliving.com/schedule-meeting and book a Zoom call. And we would love to jump on with you. If you're specifically just looking for Four Seasons, I'm sure Adam will be happy to jump on with us too and go through any questions that you might have that sometimes me and Jeff just make up the answers. But we would love to go over anything with you.
To happen.
Adam, any final words that you wanted to say that maybe you just thought of before we go?
Not really. No, I just appreciate everybody jumping on here, and I look forward to anybody coming down and meeting me.
Awesome.
Adam, you said those last two models, the models for phase 9, or now they're open and they're ready to look at?
They are. Yep. They're still doing some little touch-ups in there, but they're good enough. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Good deal.
All right. Can we do rapid fire on a couple more comments? Do they have any storage lots for people with boats or other recreational vehicles to keep them on? And short answer is no, right?
No.
But there are places around, within 15 minutes that you could easily go to one of the self-storage places for sure.
Yep.
And then Karen said there's a seahorse farm in Hawaii. You can visit and interact with them.
Can I ride a seahorse?
Okay. And Logan says, great session. Thank you for all the great information. Okay, awesome. So we hit on all that. Yeah. All right, scan the code in this video. It'll jump right into our calendars. You'll fill out a couple questions. We look forward to seeing you. Adam, thanks again.
Thank you.
See you later.
See y'all.